You ever wonder why she doesn't just say it? Why she doesn't just look you in the eye and tell you what she wants? It's not because she's playing games. It's because we live in a world that still judges women for being too forward. So instead, she speaks in code. She drops subtle hints. She sends soft invitations and waits to see if you're the kind of man who can actually read the room. Now here's the part most guys miss. She's not testing you because she wants to manipulate you. She's doing it to protect herself, to see if the connection is real or just another performance, and if you're chasing her. If you're trying too hard to decode every word, you'll miss the truth. She's whispering behind it all. This is where Stoicism becomes your edge, not the cold, emotionless version people joke about. I'm talking about the real Stoicism, the kind that teaches you how to stay still, how to stay grounded, how to listen without needing to control the outcome. Because when you stop reacting out of desperation, you start responding with presence. And presence, that's what makes her feel safe enough to open up in her way, on her time. So if you want to understand her desire, stop looking for a map. Become the kind of man who doesn't need one. Phrase 1. You're not like other guys. Let's talk about one phrase that stops most men in their tracks. You're not like other guys. Sounds like a compliment, right? And it is, but only on the surface. Because when a woman says this, she's not just stroking your ego. She's telling you something much deeper. She's telling you, I've seen how most men act and you're not that. She's telling you, I feel safer around you. I don't have to put on a mask. I can breathe here. Now the average guy, he hears that line and puffs up his chest. He leans into it. He starts trying even harder to stay different. And without realizing it, he becomes exactly like the guys she's trying to avoid. Because here's the truth. When you need to prove you're not like other men, you start behaving just like them, seeking approval, performing, chasing. But a Stoic man, he receives that phrase with stillness, no overreaction, no over-explaining, no need to earn more of what's already been offered. He doesn't try to be different. He is different because of how present he is. He's grounded, focused, and most of all, he's not trying to impress her. He's just being real. See, women use that phrase when they're testing safety. It's not just about attraction, it's about emotional trust. She wants to see, can you handle intimacy without rushing it? Can you be admired without becoming arrogant? Can you stay calm when her walls start coming down? Because you're not like other guys isn't a reward, it's an invitation. It's her way of saying, I could trust you with parts of me I've never shown. And in the right energy, that trust can turn into something much deeper. But only if you don't fumble it by trying too hard. So what do you do instead? Let her talk. Let her open. And most of all, listen. Because the moment you try to prove her right is the moment you start proving her wrong. A true man doesn't say he's different. He shows it in the way he moves, the way he listens, and the way he never needs to be liked, to be respected. You're not like other guys only means something if you can stay grounded in a world full of men trying to be everything except themselves. Phrase 2. I don't usually do this, but let me break something down that most men misunderstand. When a woman says, I don't usually do this, but she's not giving you a disclaimer. She's giving you permission, wrapped in hesitation, disguised as modesty. This is not doubt. It's not her trying to slow things down. It's her way of protecting something sacred, her self-image. Because, whether you realize it or not, women are still judged more harshly than men when it comes to desire. They're expected to balance their hunger with humility, to feel deeply, but act reserved. So when she says, I don't usually do this, what she's really saying is, I want this, but I need to feel safe while I do. And how you respond changes everything. Most guys screw it up. They get cocky, they tease her, or they try to make a joke out of it. to lighten the moment, but she's not looking for entertainment. She's watching your energy. She wants to know, are you grounded? Are you present? Or are you just waiting for a green light to take what you want? A Stoic man does something different. He doesn't challenge her words. He doesn't try to reassure her with noise. He simply holds space. He respects the tension she's carrying and makes room for her to let it go on her own terms. Because this phrase isn't just about what's happening in the moment. It's about everything she's carrying with her. Past shame, societal pressure, internal doubt. And when you give her stillness instead of pressure, when you stay rooted, calm, and non-judgmental, you become the man she doesn't need to pretend with. She can drop the act, drop the story, drop the guilt, and just feel. Because deep connection doesn't come from words. It comes from the space between them. So next time you hear, "I don't usually do this," don't rush. Don't smirk. Don't say a thing just to fill the air. Just look at her, hold the moment, and let your silence say everything she needs to hear. You're safe. You're seen. You don't have to perform. That's the moment where something real begins. Phrase 3. Are you staying over tonight? She looks at you. Maybe there's a pause. Maybe her voice softens. And then she says it. Are you staying over tonight? Now, to the untrained mind, this sounds like a simple question. A logistical decisión. Yes or no. Bed or no bed. But let me tell you something deeper. This isn't about sleep. It's not about where your shoes end up or which side of the bed you'll be on. This is about energy. It's about emotional safety. It's about whether this moment right here, right now, will be something shared or something taken, because for her, this question isn't transactional. It's relational. What she's really asking is, can I trust you to hold this space without rushing it? She wants the moment to unfold naturally, softly, without pressure, without expectation. She wants mutuality, not momentum, connection, not conquest. And a Stoic man, he understands this. He doesn't take the question as permission. He doesn't let his ego race ahead. He doesn't assume the night has been won. Instead, he stays rooted. He reads between the lines. He feels the tone, not just the words. And he asks himself, can I match her softness with presence? Can I meet this moment without needing to own it? Because what she's really offering you isn't just time together. It's access to her vulnerability. And if you rush it, if you make it about yourself, if you react like a man who's chasing pleasure instead of connection, you'll lose the very thing she was ready to give. But if you breathe, if you slow down, if you treat the moment like it matters, you show her that she's safe. And when a woman feels safe, everything changes. Her body relaxes, her walls come down, her energy shifts, and suddenly, you're not just another guy in her story. You're a chapter she'll actually remember. So next time she asks, are you staying over tonight? Don't rush. Don't smirk. Don't act like you've won something. Instead, look her in the eyes. Be still. Match her pace. Because real intimacy doesn't happen when you cross a line. It happens when you both choose to meet in the middle, at the right time, for the right reasons. I'm here, if it feels right for both of us. No rush, no pressure, just presence. And that is what turns a moment into something sacred. Phrase 4. We probably shouldn't be doing this. You're in the moment. The air is heavy, not with pressure, but with possibility. And then she says it. We probably shouldn't be doing this. Now listen, don't get it twisted. This is not rejection. She's not backing away. She's already made the decision, but she needs one more thing, to feel okay with it. You see, that phrase, it's not about what's right or wrong. It's about what feels safe emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. What she's really saying is, this scares me, but I still want it. I need you to meet me in the middle of this tension without flinching. And this is where most men collapse. They rush to reassure her, or they joke to break the tension. Worse, some push through, thinking she already said yes. But a Stoic man, he doesn't fill the silence. He doesn't need to fix the discomfort. He just stays grounded, because he knows her words aren't about stopping. They're about testing stability. She's asking, "Can I lean into you while I'm still unsure? Will you hold the moment, or will you use it?" This is the moment that separates boys from men. The boy looks for an exit or a green light. The man, he breathes, he listens, he becomes the calm in her emotional storm. Because when she says, "We probably shouldn't be doing this," she's not looking for logic. She's looking for leadership, not dominance, not control, but the kind of leadership that says, "You're allowed to feel both pulled and hesitant. You don't have to be perfect here, and no matter what, I won't push you." A woman's desire often comes with layers of guilt, of fear, of stories from her past, and when those layers rise to the surface, she's not asking you to fix them. She's asking you to witness them without judgment. She wants to know, "Can you still hold me when I'm unsure of myself?" So when she whispers, "We probably shouldn't be doing this," hold still, look her in the eyes. Let her know without needing to say it. "You're safe with me, in your desire, in your doubt, in all of it," because that's the kind of presence she doesn't forget. The kind that makes her feel seen, even in her confusion. The kind that turns inner conflict into trust. Phrase 5. What would you do if we were alone right now? She leans in, maybe with a smile, maybe with just a shift in energy. And then she drops the question, "What would you do if we were alone right now?" Now let's get this straight. This is not a casual flirt, and it's definitely not a joke. This is a test, not of your imagination, but of your emotional depth, your sexual composure, your presence under pressure. She's not just trying to get you going. She's trying to see if you can stay grounded when the room heats up, because a lot of men, they crumble here. They either freeze or they perform, turning the moment into some awkward, overconfident attempt at being seductive. But a Stoic man, he doesn't flinch. He doesn't over-explain, and he doesn't lose himself in the moment. He stays calm, playful, maybe, but always centered. Why? Because he understands the truth behind the question. What she's really asking is, "Can I trust you with my fire? Can I show you my desire without you making it about you?" Because here's the truth. She doesn't just want heat, she wants containment. A space that can hold her intensity without drowning in it. And that kind of space takes inner strength. Not bravado, not fantasy, not dirty talk, just to sound edgy. It takes a man who can breathe through his own arousal. A man who can feel the energy without needing to chase it. A man who leads with stillness, not neediness. So when she asks, "What would you do if we were alone right now?" you don't have to answer with a script. You don't need a perfect line. Just pause, look at her, and let the moment stretch. Because your silence, if it's rooted, says more than 1,000 clever replies ever could. It says, "I see your desire. I respect it. I won't rush it. I can handle your fire because I've mastered my own." And that's the man she remembers. Not the one who tried to impress her, not the one who got flustered, but the one who made her feel both wanted and safe. In the exact same moment. That's not game. That's not manipulation. That's masculine depth. That's what turns attraction into trust, into intimacy, into something real. Phrase 6. You always make me feel safe. She doesn't say it casually. She says it slowly, like it matters, because it does. You always make me feel safe. Now pause right there. That's not just a compliment. That's not small talk. That's a window into something sacred. Because when a woman tells you she feels safe, She's not talking about locked doors or pepper spray. She's talking about you, your presence, your energy, your ability to stay calm even when emotions rise. And in a world where women are constantly told to be careful, to be guarded, polite, measured, quiet, that one sentence, it means you've done something most men never do. You've earned her trust, not by trying to impress her, not by saying all the right things, but by showing her that around you, she can stop performing. She doesn't have to watch her tone, or second-guess her feelings, or brace for the moment you'll turn cold or reactive, because you're steady. And in a world full of chaos, distraction, and masculine fragility, that's rare, that's powerful. And make no mistake, she didn't come to that realization overnight. It wasn't one grand gesture, it was the consistency, the way you didn't flinch when she got emotional, the way you didn't chase when she pulled back, the way you didn't punish her silence but waited with patience. That's what builds safety, and that's what Stoicism teaches us. Not just to be strong, but to be still, not to dominate, but to create space, because a Stoic man isn't afraid of a woman's intensity. He doesn't get rattled by her moods. He doesn't need to fix her. He just stays present. He stays centered. He holds the line. So when she says, "You always make me feel safe," don't make it about your ego. Don't brush it off like it's nothing. Understand what she's really saying. I can drop my armor around you. I don't have to pretend. You give me the freedom to just be. That's not attraction. That's not desire. That's bonding. That's the soil where intimacy grows, where loyalty forms, where real connection takes root. So if you've ever made a woman feel that way, don't take it lightly. And if you haven't yet, then don't just work on your charm. Work on your presence. Work on your patience. Work on being the kind of man who doesn't just attract a woman, but makes her feel at home. Phrase 7. Do you think we're moving too fast? She looks at you, maybe after a kid moment, maybe when things are just starting to feel real, and she asks, do you think we're moving too fast? Now, to the untrained ear, that sounds like hesitation, like she's pulling away, like she wants to slam the brakes. But a grounded man knows better. This isn't a question about pace, it's a question about presence. What she's really asking is, can you slow down with me without pulling away from me? Because here's the truth. Most guys, they either freak out, thinking she's second-guessing everything, or they rush to reassure her with words that feel too much, too fast. But a Stoic man, he doesn't get defensive. He doesn't panic. He doesn't need to prove anything. He understands that slowing down doesn't mean stepping back. It means meeting her where she is. It means staying calm in uncertainty, holding space for emotion without trying to fix it, letting connection deepen without forcing progress. Because let's be honest, we live in a world that's always in a hurry. Hook up fast, fall in love fast, break up fast, move on faster. But depth, real connection, that doesn't live in speed. It lives in intention. It lives in the moments where two people say, I like where this is going. But let's make sure we're actually walking it together, not racing to arrive. So when she says, do you think we're moving too fast? She's not challenging your direction. She's checking your awareness. She wants to know if this moment still feels safe, still feels real, still feels like something she can trust. And your job, it's not to rush past her fear, it's to slow down and honor it. Look her in the eye, breathe, say something like, we don't have to move fast, we just have to move right. Because when she feels respected, she opens. When she feels rushed, she retreats. The Stoic man understands this. He knows that emotional pacing isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's how trust is built. It's how passion is sustained, not just sparked. So, next time that question comes, don't take it as doubt. Take it as an invitation to be more present, to go deeper, to move with her, not ahead of her, because love that lasts isn't measured in how fast it burns. It's measured in how long you're willing to stay present, even when things slow down. The Stoic mindset. Let's make one thing clear. Stoicism is not emotional suppression. It's not about being cold, or pretending things don't matter, or shutting down every time things get vulnerable. Stoicism is emotional mastery under pressure. It's learning to feel without being ruled by what you feel, and that's exactly what every one of these moments, these quiet, coded phrases from women are testing. Not your looks, not your money, not your game, but your ability to stay grounded while emotion swirls around you. Let me put it this way. When a woman says something like, "I don't usually do this," or "Do you think we're moving too fast?" she's not trying to confuse you. She's asking, "Can I feel safe with you while I'm still figuring out how I feel with myself?" That's a test, not of dominance, not of charm, but of your presence. And a Stoic man, he passes that test not by performing, but by holding space. He doesn't chase her when she pulls back. He doesn't pressure her when she leans in. He doesn't fill the silence just because it feels awkward. He waits. He watches. He listens because he understands stillness is strength. Presence builds trust. And emotional safety isn't something you can fake. It's something you embody. Too many men collapse under emotional tension. They joke to break the mood. They over-explain. They try to impress. They try to fix things too fast. But here's the truth. A woman doesn't need you to fix her feelings. She just wants to know that you won't fall apart while she's feeling them. That's what Stoicism gives you. The power to remain still, even when the moment feels shaky. The strength to remain grounded, even when desire or doubt or fear is in the room. So, every phrase we've covered so far, they're not traps. They're invitations. Invitations to be the kind of man who doesn't chase outcomes, who doesn't flinch at vulnerability, who doesn't try to control what he can't, but instead holds space, creates calm, and allows connection to unfold naturally, because when a man is calm in his soul, firm in his presence, and soft in his energy, she feels it, and she relaxes into it, not because he's perfect, but because he's safe. That's the Stoic mindset. And in a world full of noise, games, and emotional chaos, it's the kind of mindset that doesn't just attract women, it earns their trust. Let me leave you with this. These phrases are not small talk. They're not filler. They're not accidental. They're quiet invitations to step into something deeper than surface-level attraction. And if you move too fast, if you try to be clever, if you let your ego speak louder than your presence, you'll miss the entire point. Because here's the truth, most men never learn. Real connection doesn't happen in the words, it happens in your silence, in your stillness, in your ability to just be there fully, calmly, unapologetically. It's not about having the perfect line, it's about having the right energy. A woman doesn't remember your jokes. She remembers how she felt around you. Did she feel seen? Did she feel safe? Did she feel free to be herself, without judgment or pressure? That's where real intimacy lives. Not in control, not in chasing, but in presence. So next time you hear a phrase like, "I don't usually do this," or "Do you think we're moving too fast?" Pause, breathe, and remember, she's not testing your charm. She's checking your center. She wants to know if you can be the man who listens deeply, moves slowly, and doesn't rush a moment that's meant to unfold. Because at the end of the day, it's not your words that make you different from other men. It's who you are in that moment. Are you grounded? Are you calm? Are you present? Because that is what she'll remember. Final reflection. Before we end, ask yourself, have you heard these phrases before? And if you have, Did you understand what she was really saying? Or were you too distracted trying to impress? Let this be your reminder. Don't chase. Observe. Don't push. Stay grounded, because the man who can hold space without needing to fill it is the man she trusts with her heart. And that is the power of Stoic presence.